Picture this. You're scrolling through social media and you see that guy, you know the one. Average looking, nothing flashy about him. Yet somehow he's got incredible women genuinely interested in him. Not just one, but multiple quality women who actually pursue him. Meanwhile, you're over here crafting the perfect text message for 20 minutes, analyzing her Instagram stories like you're solving a murder case, and wondering why she takes forever to respond. What's his secret? What does he know that you don't? Here's the brutal truth that no one talks about. The game completely flips when you understand these 5 psychological triggers that make women chase, and I'm about to break down exactly how the most magnetic men use them, whether they realize it or not. Look, I used to be that guy, the one who would screenshot text conversations to analyze with friends, the one who would show up to every party hoping she would be there, the one who thought being nice and available 24/7 was the way to win. And you know what happened? I became invisible. But then I discovered something that changed everything. The men who have women chasing them aren't necessarily the richest, the most handsome, or even the most charming. They simply understand 5 fundamental principles about human psychology that create genuine attraction. These aren't pickup tricks or manipulation tactics. These are authentic ways to become the kind of man that high-value women naturally gravitate toward. So whether you're trying to win back someone who lost interest, or you want to become irresistible to the women you meet, these 5 principles will completely transform how women respond to you. She's not your goal, she's your reward. Here's the first game changer. Women don't chase men who chase them. They chase men who are chasing something bigger. Think about Elon Musk for a second. This guy is literally trying to colonize Mars, revolutionize transportation, and change the world. Do you think he's sitting around wondering if some woman likes his latest tweet? Hell no. He's too busy building the future, and guess what? That obsessive focus on his mission makes him magnetic to high-caliber women. Here's why this works on a psychological level. When you have a compelling mission, whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, or changing your community, you naturally develop what psychologists call outcome independence. You're not desperately seeking validation, because you're getting fulfillment from your purpose. The action step. Right now, I want you to think about this question. If you couldn't talk to any woman for the next 6 months, what would you build? What would you become obsessed with creating? That thing you just thought of? That's your mission. And when you start pursuing it with the same intensity you've been chasing her, something magical happens. She starts noticing that you're different from every other guy who's been blowing up her phone. Real talk moment. I had a client who was obsessed with this girl from his gym. Spent months trying to get her attention. Then he got fired from his job and decided to start his own personal training business. Guess what happened? Within 3 weeks of launching his business and posting about his journey, she DM'd him asking about his services. Now they're dating. The mission became the magnet. Your attention isn't free. Make her earn it. All right, here's where most guys completely blow it. They treat their time and attention like it's worthless. I'm going to share a story that'll make this crystal clear. There's this bar in New York that's impossible to get into. No sign outside, unlisted phone number, you need to know someone who knows someone. The drinks aren't even that special. But people will wait months for a reservation. Why? Because scarcity creates value. Now compare that to the McDonald's down the street. Always open, always available, mediocre food. Which one do you value more? Here's what you're doing wrong. You're McDonald's when you need to be the secret speakeasy. When she texts you at 2 a.m., you respond in 30 seconds. When she wants to hang out, you cancel your plans immediately. When she's having drama with her friends, you become her free therapist. The psychology behind it. Humans have something called effort justification. We value things more when we have to work for them. If your attention is always available, she doesn't have to work for it, so she doesn't value it. The game changer. Start living like your time is the most valuable thing in the world. Because it is. Don't respond to texts immediately. Not because you're playing games, but because you're actually busy building something important. Don't always be free when she wants to hang out. Have plans, have goals, have a life that's already full. Pro tip. When you do give her your attention, make it high quality and fully present. No phone, no distractions, genuine engagement. This creates what I call attention contrast, and when she does get your focus, it feels special because she knows it's rare. The man who can leave is the man who controls the frame. This is probably the hardest pill to swallow, but it's the most important. If you can't walk away, you have no power in the relationship. Let me tell you about David. Successful lawyer, good-looking guy, but he had this pattern. Every woman he dated would start strong, then gradually lose interest. He'd become more accommodating, more available, more willing to accept whatever crumbs of attention they gave him. Why? Because deep down he was terrified of being alone. Here's the brutal truth. Desperation has a smell, and women can detect it from a mile away. When you're operating from a place of "I need this person in my life," you're automatically putting yourself in a weaker position. The psychological shift. The most attractive mindset is abundance thinking. Not fake abundance where you pretend to have options, but real abundance where you genuinely believe you deserve better treatment. Think about it this way. Would you rather have someone who's with you because they feel they have no choice, or someone who chooses you every day because they genuinely want to be there? The real-world application. This doesn't mean being an asshole or playing hard to get. It means having genuine standards and being willing to enforce them. If she's consistently flaky, address it once clearly, then step back if nothing changes. If she's treating you like an option while you're treating her like a priority, rebalance that energy. The paradox. The moment you become genuinely okay with walking away is usually the moment she starts chasing. Why? Because you're finally operating from a place of strength rather than need. Action challenge. Think about your current situation. What behaviors are you tolerating that you shouldn't be? What standards have you lowered just to keep someone around? Write them down. This week, start enforcing one of those boundaries. Logic attracts the mind, emotion captures the heart. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Women don't fall for perfect men. They fall for men who make them feel intensely. I learned this lesson the hard way. I used to think attraction was about being flawless, saying the right things, never making mistakes, being the perfect gentleman. And you know what happened? I became boring as hell. The neuroscientist Dr. Helen Fisher discovered that the brain regions activated during intense attraction are the same ones involved in addiction. That means attraction literally works like a drug. And what do all addictive substances have in common? They create intense emotional highs and lows. What this means for you. If every interaction with you is predictable and pleasant, you're not creating the emotional intensity that leads to attraction. You're creating comfort, which is great for friendship but terrible for romance. The 4 emotional states that create attraction. Excitement. Be spontaneous. Instead of "want to grab dinner?" try "put on something comfortable and meet me at this address." Trust me, challenge. Don't agree with everything she says. Have opinions. Playfully disagree. Make her work to convince you of things. Mystery. Don't reveal everything about yourself immediately. Let her discover layers of your personality over time. Validation. Mixed with uncertainty. Give her genuine compliments, but not constantly. Let her wonder sometimes if she's winning you over. Real example. I know a guy who took a date rock climbing for their first meetup. She'd never done it before, was scared, but he encouraged her through it. By the end, she felt accomplished, excited, and emotionally connected to him because he'd guided her through an intense experience. Compare that to dinner and a movie. Which one do you think she's still talking about to her friends? The key. You want her to feel more alive, more interesting, more excited about life when she's with you. That's the emotional signature that makes you unforgettable. Leaders create the reality. Others want to live in. Final principle, and this one ties everything together. Women are attracted to men who lead, not men who follow. But here's where guys get confused. They think leadership means being controlling or dominant. That's not leadership, that's insecurity with a mask on. Real leadership is about vision and direction. It's about creating experiences and inviting her into your world, rather than trying to fit into hers. Here's what leadership looks like in attraction. Instead of asking, "What do you want to do?" you say, "I'm going to check out this new art exhibit downtown Saturday. You should come with me." Instead of, "Is this okay with you?" you move forward confidently and adjust based on her response. Instead of waiting for her to text first, you reach out when you genuinely want to connect. The psychology. Leadership triggers something primal in human attraction. Throughout history, women have been attracted to men who could provide direction, make decisions, and create security through their confidence. Modern application. This doesn't mean making decisions for her. It means making decisions and inviting her to join you. The leadership mindset shift. Stop asking for permission to live your life. Stop seeking approval for your choices. Start creating the experiences you want and inviting the right people to join you. Real-world example. One of my clients started a weekly hiking group. He didn't do it to meet women. He did it because he loved hiking and wanted to build community. But guess what happened? Several amazing women joined the group, and one of them is now his girlfriend. Why? Because he created something valuable and led others toward it. So here's the bottom line. If she's not chasing you, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're not being the version of yourself that naturally attracts chase. Your mission for this week. Define your mission beyond any. Woman, start treating your time as precious. Identify one boundary you need to set. Plan one experience that creates genuine excitement. Make one decision and invite others into it. The man who applies these 5 principles doesn't have to chase because he becomes worth chasing. He doesn't have to convince anyone of his value because his actions demonstrate it daily. Stop being the guy who waits for things to happen. Start being the guy who makes things happen. And remember, the right woman won't just notice these changes. She'll be magnetically drawn to them. Because finally, you'll be the man she's been looking for all along. The choice is yours. Stay where you are or become magnetic. What's it going to be?